All right, so I just gave you a little background. Tomorrow we're going to go through all of this. If you are so inclined this evening to look through some of the tools, you can find a lot of these tools are actually available at thinkwithgoogle.com/insights/tools. And the cool thing there with these tools, it'll actually ask you questions to help guide you to the right tools. So that's just a little hint for you. But if not, we're going to workshop it and have a great time tomorrow. Let's actually look at some tools. I want to give you examples of how I've seen brands use it. And then from there, I'd love if there's any questions as well. All right, something that we've really been trying to be smart about is helping brands and our agency partners build out their brand territory, okay? So how can we go beyond the brand? And here you'll see, I'll have this built out for an example for you, but we have the brand in the center, followed by products and services, which usually is a quick hit, especially when you think about search. But really understanding more of the functional and emotional consumer needs, that's when you really start to, like, as they say, unpeel the onion. You really get to the heart of the brand. And then finally, the relevant consumer interests. So we've helped quite a few brands actually connect by understanding this mapping better. So this is just a tool that I use personally when I'm meeting with somebody, just so I can understand it. And I just wanted to share it with you if it's just another way to visualize the way to build out a brand territory. But the second piece that not only building out the brand territory, I think more importantly, P&G had actually discussed the first moment of truth. And they believe the first moment of truth is when you're walking down the store aisles and you see that product, right? What are you going to do with it? But we have this new moment of truth now. So this was the traditional model in the past, right? Somebody would be stimulated by something, they'd see the product, then potentially use it, love it, hate it, share about it, right? But what we know now is there's actually 4 moments. And there's that 0 moment. And that 0 moment, we believe, is actually happening online when people are researching. And again, talking about the consumer, this is what we can tell through searches, right? What do people care about? Queries have actually, just to give you kind of an interesting thing, queries back in the day used to be 1 or 2 words. Now we see, on average, 7 words in a query. That's crazy. People know how specific they want things, and they're looking for it still before they go and interact with the service or buy the service, buy something, whatever it may be. So that's really telling to us. But this new model, this is again turning things on its head a little bit, helping brands understand what to do with that. So keeping that brand territory piece in the back of my mind, I then have to rethink it with this whole new model, right? Because I can't just think about really just the products and services. I now really have to think about, okay, how are people even going to look for me or think about me or engage with me the first time? So I'm just going to start walking through some tools and giving you examples, okay? These are things I'm sure you probably use on a daily occurrence and have maybe never looked at it in this way before. If you have, you're brilliant and you should just take my job because I didn't really figure this out. I'm just putting tools together. But if you figured it out, awesome. So again, these are all tools all over the place. They're all available on Google, but this one is just Suggest. So this is Google Suggest. And when you just go into Google and you start typing and we suggest a bunch of options for you, there's a lot you can learn there. So if you start typing something in, what are the top things that people are also searching for? Because that's what it's telling you. People are also searching for. So the best things we do for a brand is we have them put their brand in there to understand what are people looking for when they're looking for your brand? What about when people put your brand in with review? Or also just best in the category. So I'm going to give you a water example, but for Evian, instead of just Evian to understand what the brand was, we needed to look beyond that and see where did Evian fit within the water space. So we just put best water. We put water in there to understand what are people also looking for when they're looking for water. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few examples here. Red Lobster. So Red Lobster was trying to understand what are people looking for when they're looking for Red Lobster. So when they put it in Google Suggest, when you can put in Red Lobster, the top 3 things folks were looking for were Red Lobster locations, Red Lobster coupons, and Red Lobster menu. So based on that, think about all the decisions they can make. Now, On the very tactical end, they can redo their whole website and design around that, right, to make sure that people can find those three things really easily. But all of a sudden, think about the store locations and how it changes not only marketing to consumers, but how they actually interact with consumers. So all of a sudden now, mobile coupons, should we have those available when people are in locations near where our Red Lobsters are? Should we make sure that people can find these locations as easily as possible? Are we doing enough to do that? And finally, the menu. That's a deeper dive. That's an insight to say, okay, if people are looking for menu, why? Do they want healthier options? Are they looking for something specific? Or are Red Lobster customers just in a rush and they want to know what they're going to order ahead of time? What is it? But those are quick little insights just by typing Red Lobster into Google and using Google Suggest.